What up, friends? How are you doing? I just want to apologize about earlier. I don't know what happened to my video. It's like 2 minutes long and it cut off, or I don't know. Um, but sorry about that. So I'm doing a video now, okay? To make up for it. Okay. Um, so I also apologize for my little laughing attack that I was having about Yanni, Yanni and Love Lies and Lace Rent, their commentary on Liv's life and her situation. Now, I was not laughing at Liv's life and her situation. It's sad. It's sad that it had to reach that level. And it's sad that she's now taking it seriously a year later. Okay. I don't like to pass judgment or kick anybody when they're down. But I will say that it's sad for the children. I'm thinking about the children, what they must be thinking, what they must be going through. It's tough, when families are broken up. That's why I tried so hard to stay, with my exes, was to keep the family together. It's very important. Stability is very important for the babies, okay? They're our future, and I always have the children in mind whenever any situation comes up with family. So it's sad that now she's lighting a fire under her ass, like I said, a year later. And you know now she's going, but I think she doesn't have good intentions. It's a bit of a delayed reaction, and now she's like up in arms and wanting to be there. you know it took her a little bit longer to snap, which is strange because she just had a baby, and usually with the her mental illnesses that she might possibly have, and she had a baby, postpartum depression, that didn't put her in a downward spiral to want her babies back. Because I remember when I had my daughter and everything, like I was like, I'm gonna protect my baby, and it was like mommy lion, like nobody's gonna mess with my babies. Even when I adopted my son, like I didn't give birth to him, but I still had that, I was still gonna protect him, and I have protected him, this whole time, right? Hang on, just 1 second, okay? Is it full? No? You know how to turn it off? Can we turn it off? Oh, no, no. So I want to now. Well, close this. I'll be right back, okay? So, anyways, I forgot I had the water running. I'm cleaning the bathrooms and stuff like that. I'm doing my daughter's bathroom right now. Anyways, so yeah, it's sad that, it's just sad. Nobody wins in situations like this. Trying to co-parent, I've had my battles with co-parenting. I don't need to tell y'all about that, okay? But also, it did kind of take her a while, but I don't, like I said, I don't think it's good intentions. Now she's like, oh, my babies were like, where was this energy before the babies were taken away? Where was this energy for the babies when she's sitting at home doing nothing, not applying herself for anything? Now, I'm still kind of salty about her saying that she's, going through a spiritual awakening. She's, going to be celibate. She's changing her whole life. Oh, and the universe this, the universe that. No, she is way too codependent in this journey, because I'm going through spiritual journey as well. Mine's a little bit different than hers. And one recognizes one, So I see a lot of red flags, a lot of people who aren't familiar with the journey, or in, codependency is a no-no. Like that's the first thing you do. You start doing everything independently. You stop, using any recreational drugs, or, drinking excessively. You kind of clean yourself up, and every day you're learning every day, so just the way she acts doesn't really show that she's going through like a spiritual awakening. Maybe she's in the very beginning of it, which is possible, but I mean, I'm not gonna say she's not, but I mean, she's been going through this journey. She wouldn't have had her children taken away because that's the first thing. It's about the children. I wanted to change my life for my children. I wanted to do better for my children so that they can have a better future. I had to work on myself a lot. Okay. You work through the shadow work. You're no longer dependent on people, places, or things. You know what I mean? And even though I've been independent, I don't know what it was. When I got with my ex, I was like, you do it. You adult for me. You do this. You do that for me. Like here, like pay all the bills. Here's my card. You just pay all the bills for me. Like I didn't want to even call like to make payments on bills. Like no, you're doing it. Like I just clocked out. So doing this, I've just been so independent for everything. I wasn't going anywhere. I was hermit mode for a long time. Now I'm going everywhere. Okay. Like I'm going everywhere. So I can identify with making changes, and she's just on nothing but talk, and all she does, like right now, she's asking for money from her followers because now she doesn't have furniture, for the kids. And it's like, okay, so now you're up in arms because you have your hand out. Like where are the videos? Like she doesn't do anything all day. If I had more time in my day and I wasn't working this new job, like I would do so much more videos, especially since that's her main source of income. People, like that's her main source of income. Like why isn't she like applying herself? Like she doesn't apply herself to anything. She probably sleeps until like 2 in the afternoon, I would imagine. And that's not when you I don't know, when ever since I've been going through this spiritual awakening, I've been waking up since 5 a.m. every day. Like I wake up at 4, or and it's because you just have this urge to like change, like to do stuff, keep yourself in order, like not hoarding stuff, like purging everything. Like it's a whole life, like it's a everyday thing. Like you do stuff every day to improve yourself, and she doesn't do that. And the lies, she lies too much to be going through a spiritual awakening. Like she is lying on lying on lying. And the reason I'm salty is because I'm so passionate about what I'm doing with myself in my life. I've never felt so content and never really followed anything through in my life. And, like this just makes me feel so much better, and life is so much better. Like the burdens aren't there anymore. Like you're not scatterbrained like she is. Like she's just a freaking liar. And then the paperwork that was leaked, I'm like, okay, I don't know why they would include the wording sexual abuse of a child in there. That is fucking disgusting. I'm sorry, not sorry for saying that. Abuse and sexual abuse, if it's one category and she didn't do anything sexually to anybody, why is that even an option on there? It should be separate on the paperwork because the way it's worded makes me believe that she sexually assaulted one of the children, and that fucking hang her by her tits and fucking chop them off. Like that is fucking disgusting. That's oh my gosh, like no. Mm-mm. And I know I shouldn't be judging, but sexual assault of children is like that's just like a no, or sexual assault period. Period. Oh my gosh. And she's over here like has the audacity to freaking ask for money, and she can't even put effort into her children and the baby that's never there. I don't know. This whole baby thing is weird. Okay, when I had my babies, both of them, like they were on my hip, they were on my shoulder, they were always hanging off of me. And for the most part, her other three children were always hanging off of her. Why isn't this baby, like he's like always MIA. He always has prior engagements, like he's always somewhere else. Like I just don't understand it. I really don't. And I really do feel like she's going through like a mental breakdown or something. Okay. And it's sad. And she has a lot of things. I think she needs to step away from the internet because she had a husband, a home, children. And within these 2 or 3 years, she's lost everything. And she's still too prideful to say, you know what? I fucked up sleeping around and cheating on my husband and not appreciating him. Man, I give freaking props to Gerard. Oh my goodness. Not only for dealing with this woman, but he is a fucking Texan. Like he is a man. Like he is, oh my gosh. I when they broke up, like I had such a heavy heart for him because I know it was hard for him to leave his family. And I know that's why Gerard married Olivia is for the babies because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to marry the mother of your children, right? That's what you're supposed to do. And he wanted the family so bad and he fucking worked his ass off for them. He's a blue collar worker. He freaking would come home like sweaty and like in his uniform and everything, like fucking and to her fucking bitching, to her being a fucking ass to him for her making him look like a dumbass on the internet. Like she didn't appreciate what she had there. Like he was a fucking hard worker. He always worked for her. He always supported her and she lost everything because of social media. And she will not admit that she let the money fuck her over. Like she let money take over her and she chose money over her family. And now she doesn't have not even her children except for the one who's never even there. Like I felt a lot of empathy for Gerard because I know he thought he was doing the right thing and he was marrying that woman, for the children and I know it was hard for him. That's why he was back and forth with her because he's like, she's my wife. I have to work it out with her, And the babies, she's a freaking basket case. Like I wouldn't want to leave my kids with her if she was my baby mama. Hell no. I would be worried too, but you know what? He fucking concentrated on what he had to do and got custody of his children legally with oh my gosh, Antonisha, like oh my gosh. And I know they have a little, I think she was the other woman or he was back and forth. But man, if that is a bonus mom, like oh my gosh, a bonus mom of all bonus moms, like inspiration bonus mom. If I ever have bonus children, that's exactly who I want to be. That's exactly the energy I want to give to my bonus children because she is, and you know what? When I first saw that first video of her screaming Christian, because my son's name is Christian, but we call him Joel. But when she was like, Christian, Christian, go, Christian, like at his game, oh my gosh, I was freaking crying like a fucking baby. I was like, that is like the sweetest thing. Like his own mother wasn't even there on the sidelines. And he freaking did a touchdown. I tried to share it on my Facebook because I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she's like, Christian, go, Christian, go. And he freaking ran all the way and did a touchdown. And she's like, that's my boy. And I was like, oh my God, that is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, I mean, he probably didn't even miss his mama there because she filled in like without hesitation, like it should be. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, that's the stepmom, oh, that's the other, yeah, they had a little gray area, but it's because he probably fell in love with her, but he's like, he was probably torn, like, oh man, I have this wife over here, I gotta go with her, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But you know what, it happened the way it was supposed to happen. And I don't like when Liv calls her the help, like she's a fucking maid or something, because she's not married to him, but she's doing all the work as a well, that's what she was saying before. She's not gonna say that now because he did propose to her. So I mean, and she used to kind of insinuate like Antonisha was stupid for doing all that stuff for the kids and doing everything for Gerard and driving the kids around and stuff like that when they weren't even married. Like she didn't have a ring. Like I think he was still married to Liv at the time because she was dragging her feet with that divorce. But it eventually happened because, hello, he wanted a fucking divorce. Like, she's fucking crazy, you know? But she is just too prideful. And you know what? This isn't even rock bottom for her because she will not. Like, I'm just so shocked that she's able to live life. Me, myself, I'm a helicopter parent, okay? I could not be away from my babies and not even my adult daughter. I know it's weird, but my adult daughter, like, she's like a fucking freak spirit and it kills me. I can't with her. Like, she'll go to concerts by herself. She fucking goes everywhere. She's fucking driving now, and I'm just like, oh my. And then when she doesn't tell me where she's going, and I know she doesn't have to tell me where she's going, but I'm like, it would be nice to know where the fuck you're going, okay? But man, like, I just can't be like her, just worried about fucking the next cock I'm gonna hop on. Like, like, how can you think about other things when your babies are in a whole nother state? Like, a whole nother state. Like, me and Chris have our issues, but Chris always does prayers with Joelle every night. Every night they do prayers. And, like, she can't call. Like she was refusing to talk to their kids on not her not appointed days or whatever. Like, she's just freaking crazy. Like, I just can't with her. And I wasn't gonna say anything because I don't want to put, like I said, I don't want to kick anybody while they're down. But, like, shit, man, like, she needs to just fucking admit that she fucked up her life. She really did. And the whole thing of, being more spiritually inclined or whatever is taking accountability. That woman cannot take accountability for anything at all. At all. And she's gonna suffer. And you know what? Her kids are gonna remember. I'm gonna tell you a story about something, okay? Somebody I know who gave up their baby at 8 months old. Okay, this woman took off. 2 years later, she's like, oh, the baby will know me because of the mother's touch or whatever, like, the mom will know who I am. I mean, the baby will know who I am. No. She got a hold of that baby, and the baby cried her eyes out because she didn't know who the hell she was. Like, what were you expecting? Like, hello? Like, she was so confident that her mother's touch was gonna, the baby was gonna remember 2 fucking years later that that's her mom. Like, no, she didn't even like her. Kids remember everything. Kids remember every single little thing, everything. And, since we're on the subject of children, somebody told, now, everybody knows my son is adopted. It's well known. Everybody knows. We haven't told my son yet because he's too young and I want him to understand what adoption means. So I was gonna wait like a couple more years, right? But somebody, that little boy he's been fighting with at school, who keeps picking on him, um, told my son that he was adopted. And how that little boy I've never met before, how he knows my son's adopted. Okay, there's a couple options here. Um, Either one of his parents watches my channel and they know, because I don't have friends, so it can't be a friend of mine. Can't be a friend of mine because this little boy, I don't know him. I've never seen him before. I've seen him at the school because my son pointed him out. I don't know any of his family. So, and my son just met him this year, like a couple months ago. So how this little boy knows that my son's adopted, I don't know. But I put it out on the internet. It's no secret. It's not like I was hiding it from him. I wanted to tell him differently. I wanted him to comprehend. But he did ask about it. And so he's like, this little boy said that I'm adopted. Am I adopted? And I'm like, no, this little boy says I'm adopted. I'm like, well, you are. And he's like, I am. And I'm like, yeah. And I ended up having to tell him right then and there. It wasn't the way I wanted to tell him, but it's okay. It's best that he knows now. Um, because I wanted him to be at least like 11 or 12, but I don't know. They were saying that was too old to tell him, that I should tell him while he was younger. So it's a good thing that I was able to tell him. But I think somebody was trying to do some, I think it was, and I kind of feel like somebody was doing it like despite me. Like if I was gonna keep a secret, like he was, like how does this little boy know? A little boy I've never met. We don't have any friends, mutual friends. Like, how do they know? How is that little boy? So one of his parents must watch my channel, or I know this girl that doesn't like me, who's hated me for years because I don't know, she's always had an agenda. One of her best friends is the one that referred my son to go to school there. So I was aware that this person who hates my guts was gonna know where my son went to school. So I don't know, maybe they're just trying to ruffle my feathers or something. But it worked out in the end. Um, but the way the little boy was saying it, like if it was a bad thing. But honestly, if you take a look around, especially in the hood, you're gonna see there's a lot of people that are adopted. There's hood adoptions, but my adoption is actually legal. It's through Bear County. But there's a lot of people who stay with their grandparents. There's a lot of people who don't even take care of their children, who just leave them with friends or whatever. That's pretty common. So, I mean, saying it like that, you're offending a whole lot of people. And you have to be careful when you're saying things like that because you're going to offend the wrong person. So, if it was meant to offend me, no, I've said it many times on the internet. It's known. There's a paper trail of the adoption. So, no, I wasn't going to lie to him and not tell him. I just wanted to tell him later, but it worked out in the end. But just be mindful of what you tell your children or what they overhear. I should say the kid's name here just so the parents will know. But I'm not gonna do that because it's not the kid's fault, you know. And I don't want to start no shit because I think that's what people want, is probably a reaction out of me. It's just odd that a little boy would know that my son's adopted and tell him. And the way my son said it was like it was a bad thing. I go, it's not a bad thing. Like, and I'm gonna adopt more children if I can. And I named a couple of people that were adopted that he knows, so that he wouldn't feel like weird, like so he would know, well, this person's adopted, and you hang out with them all the time. So I don't know. I feel like my intuition tells me it was like somebody being malicious. But so I don't know why that I don't know, like what's so bad about being adopted. Sometimes I wish I was adopted. I'm just kidding, Mom. Anyways, so I'll let y'all go. I've been rambling long enough. So I work tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day off. They're just forcing me to work every day. So I'm actually really tired. But I hope y'all have a good day. And I keep seeing the number 555. So changes are coming. Sudden change is coming. The last time I saw it, I did get a big change in my life. So who knows what this is? It's going to be good because I think all the bad stuff has passed me. So it's going to be something good. So hopefully I win the lottery or something. Woohoo! So I can buy a private island. Anyways, y'all take care. Goodbye.